Yes, I returned. All right. Must be worried about his cells drying out. Yeah, we can't have the cells dry out. That would be terrible. All right. I gotta turn that off. Turn that down. Turn that off. Get this organized. No email. Yeah, I still need to send one out. You're right. You're right. All right, so the mail is going out right now. Start your stopwatch, Shubas. Argon flood is good as a vacuum. Yep. You're absolutely right. However, I have other reasons for wanting to build a vacuum chamber. Oh, that felt good. So anyway, dinner was great. Found this little place locally called the Edison Grill. And the whole interior of this place is designed around the Thomas Edison motif. It's lit completely with Edison light bulbs. It's got a whole bunch of memorabilia, Edison memorabilia, things like Edison phonograph for the hostess station, and just all kinds of stuff around this place. It's really quite interesting. They did a very good job with the interior design of this place, and the owner of the place, this is not a chain, the owner of the place makes everything locally. She makes all of her own desserts. She makes all of her own prepared meats, and it's just phenomenal. It's one of those little golden nuggets that only the locals know about, you know. It's kind of the restaurant when you pull into a strange town, you ask the locals, where do you go to eat? And the locals say, this is where I go to eat. All right, so let's get a few still shots going here. Critter says he has a tank of argon. Everyone should have a tank of argon. That restaurant sounds really neat. Edison was one of my childhood heroes. Do they serve vodka? Yes, they do have a bar. I'm sure they serve vodka. I didn't have any though. I've got enough here. But I don't think I'm going to have any more tonight. Must be silver for the rant. That last one was a trade. Shut up. Hate it when you're right. Alright, so I really can't give you any decent camera angles while I'm recording the video, unfortunately. You'll just have to deal with me looking at the other camera. Check 1, 2. Got audio? Yep, I got audio. Alright, let's do this. Hey everyone, welcome to Zero Labs. Today is Saturday, January 9th, 2016. I'm Mark Brash, your host, and this is the Kolossal Keshe Katastrophe Konklusion. So as you can see, I still have the star formation GANS reactor running in the background. It has been running all week long. And I am really looking forward to turning this thing off, because the peace and quiet in the lab is really nice to have once in a while. For those of you who have been following along in my live video channel, Zero Labs Live, you saw all week long how I have been chemically nanocoating all of the copper wires that were used to reconstruct the MagRav energy bead system. I will put a link up to the live feed channel so that you can go back and look at the recorded videos. Each one of those videos has a time and date stamp on them, and all of the procedures that I went through are according to the official Keshe recipe. Collectively, that entire group of videos is probably less than one single sermon from the Messiah Keshe. So if you want to go back and look at those, if you have the stomach for an entire Keshe Knowledge Seekers workshop, then going back and looking at all the previous videos that I did of the nanocoating process should be a piece of cake for you, right? Anyway, tonight we conclude this Keshe fiasco. Alright, tonight we are going to prove or disprove whether or not the MagRav bead system works at all. You all know my predictions, and don't hand me any crap that negative thoughts are going to negatively impact the outcome of a scientific experiment. It doesn't. So, let's get right into it, alright? Here is a close-up shot of the MagRav energy bead system. And if you look very carefully at the copper wires, you will see that they are thoroughly blackened and that they are fully nano-coated. I will accept no further arguments on this topic. Okay? These wires are completely nano-coated. Here is a close-up of the interconnection for the input and the output and the plasma transistor that Keshe came up with, which is really, or sorry, Alex came up with this one. That is really a plasma capacitor, but here is a close-up of the interconnection for all of the wiring to the MagRav energy bead system, and it shows the output and the input and the plasma transistor setup NPN, which was concocted by Alex, and in later designs ends up being just a plasma capacitor. I have my two desk lamp fixtures with 40-watt incandescent bulbs in each one of them, and we're going to connect that up right now and run the test, show you the input and output currents. Again, as I stated earlier in a previous video, this is not a complex waveform. We're dealing with a 60 Hertz sinusoidal waveform. Standard digital multimeter will do fine for measuring the AC voltage, and we'll be using a AC clamp-on amp meter to measure the current. From those numbers, we will calculate the input and output wattages, and after that, we will shut the experiment down. Alright, so alright, here's my lamps. Let me get my outlet box. Actually, let's just do it this way so that you can see it. Alright, here's my little surge protector outlet box. Plug my 2 lamps into this. That goes into that. There's my digital multimeter. Check 1, 2. Yep, still recording. And here's my clamp-on DC amp meter. Power is on. No, it's not. Gotta plug it in first. Yep. That usually helps. Alright, and we'll try this again. There we go. Okay, we just had a short circuit. As I suspected, and I'm very glad I put a fuse on this, as I suspected, let's unplug this. This plasma capacitor short-circuited. This was the one component I was concerned about, and that's why I have a fuse. So, let's see what happened here. I am on the 200 ohm scale. Let me unplug my load. I may actually have to do some repairs here. Yes, sirree. We got ourselves a short circuit. actually do appear to have a genuine capacitor right here. And the value of this capacitor is quite high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing I did last time. I will ramp the voltage up slowly to literally dry out this capacitor, because with that capacitor intact, what happens is it is becoming its own load to the circuit, and it will heat up. So I'm going to get my my infrared thermometer, and we're going to watch it heat up. I would like everyone to keep in mind, this is as I predicted. Alright, this is a 10 amp 250 volt fast blow fuse, as opposed to the 5 amp that I had in there. I am going to crank this up slowly this time, and I will watch the AC current as I do it. So let's turn on the AC amp meter. And zero it out. And that is visible to the camera. So let's reapply power and slowly turn up the voltage. And do I have voltage? I have no current. Okay, so now I have voltage. We are slowly turning up the voltage. Oh yeah, that is starting to heat up. 100 degrees, 124 degrees. $128 degrees. $140 degrees. $145 degrees. I may not be able to continue this experiment with this wired as it is. Okay? This simply may not be possible. And that in itself is conclusive evidence enough for me that the whole thing is bogus. Alright, so we are cooled down again. Let's see how much AC voltage we've got. I'm only putting in about 30 volts AC. And it appears that the temperature is continuing to drop slowly. The amount of current being drawn is very small. It doesn't even show up on the AC ammeter. Alright, the temperature does appear to be going down, so I'm going to slowly increase the voltage here. I'm now at 43.7 volts. There's 50 volts AC. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all. There's 60 volts AC. Temperature appears to be continuing to drop, so we're not really drawing any current from this one capacitor. There's 70 volts AC. 75 volts. Alright. This should be about 85 volts. $95 volts. $105 volts. I'm glad you got to see this. I'm really glad you guys got to see this. There's 115 volts. Okay. It looks like we're stable. It looks like we're stable. Very glad I had that fuse. So we're going to go up to 120 volts AC, and we're going to leave it there. Okay? We have 120.2 volts input. And under a no load condition, we have 120.2 volts output. Now, let me write these numbers down here. So we have 120.2 in and 120.2 out at at 0 amps. Just double checking my voltages, making sure they're not fluctuating. And they're holding pretty steady. Okay? Now we turn the load on. I have 0.41 amps on the input side. We're at 119.5 volts on the input side. 119.5 at 0.41 amps. And on the output side, I have got 119.3. 119.3 at 0.41 amps. So we've lost 0.2 of a volt. I measure 0.41 amps on the input and output. I will repeat those measurements one more time for you. That is 119.5 volts average. This is 119.3 volts average. I don't know. That's kind of floating around 119.5, isn't it? There, you can see that better. I'm calling that 119.6. It floats up and down about 0.2 of a volt. And I'm calling this one 119.6. All right. So my resistive losses are minimal, and my input and output currents are identical. Now, I don't care what kind of plasmatic energy you've got going on here with the star formation GANS reactor and the maggrav energy bead system and all of the nonsense that Keshe is spewing out, but the whole point of attaching an electrical device of any kind to this, as demonstrated by Keshe, is to translate some of this magical plasma energy into something that we can use right now. Why else would he attach fans and computers and power drills and whatever else he attached to this thing? What's the point of attaching any of those things? We're not gaining anything. We're not sending anything back into the grid. The output equals the input. Period. All of this time, money, and energy to build all of this so that we can create a device whose output is equal to the input. I don't know what kind of games Keshe was playing with his kilowatt hour meters that he had running at the 68th Knowledge Seekers workshop, upon which all of this is built. But I guarantee you he was playing some kind of games there. I don't know where Keshe comes up with all of this fanciful stuff that he drones on and on for 3.5 hours at a clip every time he puts out a Knowledge Seekers workshop. All I can tell you is this does not work. And anything that is based upon the principles that should make this work also cannot work, because what came before it does not work. And what came before this does not work. And if there's anybody who doubts the quality of this build, I challenge anyone to come and even look at this setup. I will show it to you. I'm happy to do that. But you see, the problem is, it doesn't work. The technology doesn't work. Keshe is the bullshit artist of the century. He really is. Okay, folks? He is a cult leader. A self-proclaimed messiah. And the people who sit around him are practically his apostles. And all of you little disciples who are running around, making disciples of all the earth to follow Keshe. Guess what? Keshe is a false prophet. He is misleading you. He is detracting from real research that takes place in alternative energy. And he gives everyone a bad name. Anyone who accuses me of having a negative influence on any of this, you are so wrong, you have no idea. Okay? Exposing fraud is always a positive influence. Always a positive influence. If you think what I'm saying is hateful, then apparently speaking the truth is the new hate speech. And I don't care what you call it. You can call it anything you like. I will continue to speak the truth. And the truth is, Keshe is a quack. And this does not work. Forget Keshe. Walk away from Keshe. Pay him absolutely no mind. And remember, if you sent him any money, it's gone. Count your losses, lick your wounds, walk away. My story has not changed, nor has the functionality of this crap. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry. That is the truth. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this. I can't wait to turn this thing off and move on to some real science. As always, please rate, share, comment, and subscribe to my videos. Peace, everyone. That's going to take some editing. So you should start a Keshe rehab school. A Keshe rehab school. Yeah, yeah. Man, oh man, oh man. So were you guys able to see that fuse pop and the smoke rising from this this plasma capacitor when it blew? I'm going to have to go back and look at that video. Mike Al says, yes. Awesome. And the plasma reactor is off. Amen. Praise the Lord. Oh, the peace. Yes, the peace. Well, I do know one thing. When you turned it off, when you turned off the star thingy, the ringing in my ear stopped. Good, man. I don't want to torture you. Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy. Okay, boys and girls, that's it. Experiment is over. I have a video to edit and publish. It's gonna be a good one. Thank you all for joining me. Hope you had fun. I sure did. Catch you later.